Okay, good evening, everybody. At this moment, I would like to open a meeting. Mr. Karate?
Mr. Accomando,
Present.
Ms. Borelli, here. Ms. Ainello,
Present.
Mr. Laurentino,
Present.
Ms. Mahoney,
Here.
Mr. Shearer,
Here.
Ms. Torbic, Ms. Traverso,
Here.
Ms. Zattarelli.
Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, would you please turn off all cell phones and electronic devices? And now I would like to turn it over to Superintendent Ms. Violetti.
Thank you. We'll start with the student reps coming down and sharing those student rep notes. We have Carly Montalbano and Samantha Apgar. You can move it down.
Hi, I'm Carly Montalbano, and I'll be talking about Washington, our K-6 schools, and the middle school, high school. So for Washington, the classes finished their insect unit and released their butterflies. Field day was a great success on our new playground area. The 4-year-old classes are practicing for their moving up ceremony, learning the songs and the steps, and they will end the year with a petting zoo. For the K-6 schools, the field days were a great success. The students participated in traditional relay races, team building activities, and a tug-of-war event, thanks to the PTOs who provided the ice pops at the end of the day and the t-shirts. The spring concerts were another opportunity for the students to showcase their musical talents. The 6th graders had a beautiful day of weather for their trip to Fairview Lake. They enjoyed paddling a rowboat, building a shelter out of nature, and a hike up Ridge Mountain. Thank you to the VFW for their generous contribution, which helped defray some of the costs for the students. For the middle school, high school, they had 3 great spring concerts: the middle school concert, high school concert, and the night of jazz and chamber music. The band and choir participated in the High Note Music Festival, where the middle school band received an excellent rating and the choir was awarded with a superior rating. The high school art and graphic design classes submitted pieces to the town this last month to be displayed in their new building. The academic awards ceremony for the high school was held on June 2nd. Congratulations to all of the students who were honored for their hard work this year. We held the science fair during the lunch periods on June 6th. Thank you to all of the participants and Mr. Villarreal for organizing. On June 8th, we had the junior ring breakfast and the first ever diversity fair. Thank you to Ms. Rippis and the Falcons for Change Club. The Science Honor Society hosted the blood drive on June 9th. The senior scholarship banquet was last Thursday. Thank you to all the donors who support the students of Saddlebrook, and congratulations to all of our senior recipients. Middle school field day was last Friday. Thank you to the PTO, the parent volunteers, and to Ms. Cahoon and Ms. Forlini for a great day. The Howard Weinberg Walkathon last Friday raised enough money to donate a bench in his honor. Thank you to all who came out.
Hi, I'm Samantha Apgar, and I'll be talking about athletics and curriculum and instruction. For athletics, the athletic department would like to congratulate our 2 NJIC Sportsmanship Award winners, Michael V. Ramos and Julia Bednars. Congratulations to the following All-League players. Baseball, first team, Michael Garbarino. Second team, TJ Papas, Alex Gomez. Honorable mention, Jason Jones. Softball, first team, Gabby Santora. Second team, Mia Ianello, Stella Cahill-Slowick, Athena Fairley. Honorable mention, Isabella Gorgoski. Track and field, girls first team, our 4x400 relay team of Caroline Caprellian, Deborah Wang, Julia Bednars, Brianna Reyes. Honorable mention, Caroline Caprellian, Cassidy Q, Natalie Escobar, and Rashveer Kaur. Boys first team, Jake DeJulia, Matthew Suero, Colin Eunice, Zach Hartung, Michael Ramos, and our 4x400 relay team of Jake DeJulia, Matthew Suero, Colin Eunice, and Joey Quimby. Second team, Jake DeJulia, Joseph Nudo, and Zach Hartung. Honorable mention, Matthew Suero. Third team, All County, Colin Eunice and Michael Ramos. Second team, All County, Zach Hartung. Congratulations to Coach Ed Saccone, who was selected by his peers as the Meadowlands Boys Track and Field Coach of the Year, and a huge shout out goes to our boys track team who won the Bergen County Group D Championship. Good luck to our 7 qualifiers who will be competing this Saturday at the Meet of Champions. Girls Lacrosse. Congratulations to our girls lacrosse team on winning the American Central Division, and to Deandra Donato and being selected the American Central Division Coach of the Year. First team, Lexi Caleri, Ava Parisi, and Miranda Bibber. Second team, Ariana Toribio, Madeline Faber, and Natalie Rosales. Honorable mention, Saoirse Toomey. All academic team, Ava Parisi, Miranda Bibber, Ariana Toribio, Madeline Faber, and Natalie Rosales. For curriculum and instruction, the Light the Night event was a great success. We had over 400 participants throughout the night. Donations are still coming in. Mrs. Cawley, Mrs. DeBonis, Mrs. Violetti, and Mrs. Wonder presented at the NJSA conference. They presented on the Saddlebrook School District SEL initiative. Data teams are reviewing assessment data from the school year. This information will help to inform instruction and improve our curriculum development.
Thank you, Sammy. Ooh, you keep it up. They might pay you to announce all their names at graduation, too. Good job. Okay, I have a couple other announcements, and then this evening we are going to honor our retirees. Mrs. Sikimatelis is representing the Saddlebrook Education Foundation to present the grants to some of our staff members, and then I will be presenting on our proposed referendum. So I just want to reiterate quickly, as you can tell, there's a lot going on this time of the year and this last month of the school year. A lot of thank yous need to go out. The VFW donation for our 6th graders to have their trip. This was the first year they reimagined the trip. It used to be overnight, and they did it from morning until nighttime. I believe they got back to their schools around 9:20. They were able to have all the activities, still do the ice cream social, the bonfire. It was absolutely a huge success, I heard. I also wanted to share that our district-wide fundraiser raised $3,798 for Colin Stern and his family, who is going through leukemia treatments right now. The Weinberg Walkathon that was hosted by our students in our community partnership club raised $817. We also on the agenda, there's a photo studio donation from the Dellin family, and that is for one of our photo classroom upstairs, and it's a backdrop for all their still photos and other props that they have set up. Clearly, I don't know everything the photo classes do in the building, but it is right now there's a handmade contraption up there, and the Dellin family is donating a solid, real backdrop for our photo classes. Our SBEF, the foundation, aside from the grants that they're awarding our teachers tonight, also on the agenda we're accepting a grant or an award from them for an outdoor classroom at each of our elementary buildings, including Washington School. And that outdoor classroom is going to consist of an outside shed, a rolling stand whiteboard, flexible seating assorted, clear communicators and whiteboards, dry erase markers and supplies, and then a storage unit for all the supplies. So thank you to the foundation for supplying those to our buildings. Let's see, we had our academic awards and scholarship banquet. There's so many good things happening right now, and so many awards being received and donations being granted, and we just want to say thank you to everybody in our community. We have some summer programming coming up, so we did share some of our sports camps and the Summer Arts Academy. We are also in communication right now. We didn't send it out yet because it's not finalized, but with an SAT, ACT company to do class test prep here, and then also K-12 tutoring. And then we're also trying to get Code Ninja here for a couple weeks out of this summer as well. So keep an eye out for those updates that should be being mailed out soon. Let's see, there's a long list here. I also wanted to give an update. We did start interviewing for the principal at Long Memorial School, so we have several committees in place actually, and we're in the process of doing that that, and we're hoping to appoint someone within the month. Let's see. Our grade 6 went on the trip. Our grade 8 were able to do their trip to Washington, D.C. Our music programs have been doing their trips. Each of our classes have gone on a field trip, first one in several years, so it's very exciting. We also completed our school security site assessments. I did send an email out to the entire community so you were aware. We were walking around the buildings. Bergen County Prosecutor's Office came. And it's really interesting to walk around the entire outside of the building and the entire inside. And you look at every nook and cranny and you see any vulnerabilities that are out there. Those reports are not shared with the public for reasons such as confidentiality and safety and security of our building, but they are in the process of being reviewed and making sure that we put safety at the forefront. Let's see, kindergarten screenings took place the last 2 weeks. We had half days for our kindergarten students, and the incoming kindergarten students entered their buildings, and they met their teachers. The parents had an orientation, and their screenings were completed. Let's see, 6th graders visited the middle school today, so they got to have a tour of the building. They met with administration, teachers, the music program, and that was really fun and exciting for them. I also wanted to just share some really nice things. We had one of our parents thanked one of our teachers. She was driving home and found one of our Smith teachers, Cheryl Rossetti, and she saw a wallet that was flying about Mayhill Street, and money was flying about, and she stopped, collected it all, and returned it to the child's house. And the parent wanted to make sure we said thank you. And then also I wanted to thank, it was brought to my attention that one of our high school teachers, Dan Gianfreddi, he actually collected money from a group that he's a part of, and he was looking to donate items to some of our SALS students here, which is our multiple disabilities program at the middle school, high school. And when he brought that up to his group, they decided to raise some money. So he was able to donate, I believe it was $1,600 to our classroom here. And then he also purchased lunch for the child study team, the classes, the classroom, and special ed teachers, the behaviorists. So I just wanted to say thank you. I found out about that today. And then I also wanted to share, it's not on the agenda, but we did send out the uniform survey to the parents. I wanted to share the results of that. So we had 478 responses. I removed the doubles. There were several doubles. We had a total of 463 responses. Out of those 463 responses, 170 said no to uniforms, and 293 stated that they wanted to keep the uniform policy as is. So right now, we are keeping the uniform policy as is. I do know that the policy, some members of the policy committee do want to discuss it, so I'm sure we will be having a committee meeting probably within the next month. We have a stress estimate update anyway, and we can review it all. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Karati?
I'll be quick. We just finished up with the audit from the prior year, which was April, and now this year's coming to a close, and we're open up to 22-23 year. A lot of projects going on. It's very busy. I'll update the board agenda when we go through it. There's some sections that have to get adjusted. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you so much. Are we going to go to the presentation?
We'll do the retirees.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'll start. Our first retiree is not here this evening, Mrs. Sonia Otero. But I will share a few words about Mrs. Otero. I had the honor and pleasure of working with Mrs. Otero in the same office for the last several years. And honestly, I don't know what I would have done during COVID if I did not have her companionship and professional relationship with her as well. We had so many laughs, as many of you members of the leadership team in here may have heard us. And I have so much respect for Mrs. Otero, and we wish her the very best in her future endeavors. Our next retiree. Thank you. Our next retiree is Donna Ferraro. Mrs. Cawley is going to share a few words about Mrs. Ferraro.
I have the pleasure of sharing a little bit about.
In the microphone, please.
Oh, sorry.
You can raise it up.
I'm really bad at this. I have the pleasure of sharing a little bit about Donna Ferraro. So she has been a special educator in the Saddlebrook School District since March of 2002. That's over 20 years of service to the students in this community. She has worked in, I found out tonight, Smith, Long, Washington, and Franklin School in her tenure here. I've had the pleasure of working with her over the past 2.5 years and can attest to her warm and loving demeanor. She is always willing to step in and lend a helping hand. So I'm going to read you a couple things that her colleagues have shared about her. So they say, Donna has the best sense of humor. She has the perfect combination of professionalism, warmth, and expertise. Donna is a kind and loving person, always there for her colleagues and most of all the students. Donna is someone that you can go to for help, and she guides with gentle advice. Watching her with the students is always incredible, and anyone can see how much she loves teaching, and the students love her. Donna is warm and loving educator who always showed patience, and more patience. As a colleague, she is always there with a welcoming smile, great words of advice, and a voice of strength and support. Donna is a wonderful mentor and is always willing to share her knowledge and help out when needed. It has been a privilege getting to work with Donna as a collaborative teacher and learn from her. She will be missed, but undoubtedly left her mark in Saddlebrook. As you can hear, Donna is the type of colleague and teacher who shares her wisdom, her patience, and her grace in a variety of situations. We wish her the very best in her retirement, and we know that she will bring her sense of love and joy into her next journey.
I just want to thank the board. For all my years, I did enjoy working, and I do know some of you that are on the board and met a lot of board members through the years. And I'm going to miss the kids. It's bittersweet, but it's time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all your years, Donna.
Laura Joyce, please come down, and Mrs. Wonder, I feel like Price is right now. Mrs. Wonder will come down as well.
Calm down.
Good evening. I'm Deborah Wonder, the principal of Smith School.
And Jillian Coley, Supervisor of Special Services. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to thank Laura Joyce for her service in the Saddlebrook schools. She began working for us back in 1997 and remained a dedicated staff member for over 25 years.
I've had the opportunity to work with Mrs. Joyce for the last 4 years at Smith School, and her passion to support the students and staff was evident from our very first conversation. Mrs. Joyce was always there to jump in and help, problem solve, and support a student in need. She enjoyed being in all different settings and always had a smile on her face. One of the best ways to explain Laura's mark on Smith School is to hear from her colleagues, so we have 2 things to share. One said, Laura always offered support and help whenever she was in a room. When virtual, she joined every meeting and would encourage all students to help them feel capable. She would always jump right into whatever activity we were doing.
Another staff member shared, I had the pleasure of working with Laura Joyce this year before her retirement. Even though I've only known Laura for 1 year, it did not take long to see how wonderful she is, not just as an educational professional, but as a person. She came into the classroom every day with a smile and was ready to help in any way possible to help a student. Her energy and positivity not only uplifted the students, but everyone in the room. You could always find Laura in our classroom dancing and singing. Even months after Mrs. Joyce has retired, my students still tell me every day that they miss her and they hope she visits again soon so they can have a dance party. She is someone that made a positive impact on every student who was lucky enough to work with her.
Mrs. Joyce is also an avid athlete and could often be seen logging her steps during her lunch breaks. I hope you're enjoying that extra time now, and I can only imagine how many steps you're logging every day. Thank you for everything you did at Smith School and in the district.
Really quick, because I didn't know I was supposed to say anything. Thank you all for everything. It's nice. I've seen, I started going to board meetings when my kids were little, so I've seen the faces change over this year, and I'm looking at people up here, and I've had some of their kids in school, and thank you for the job you do, and thank you for everybody that I've worked with. It's been a pleasure working with the kids all these years, but it was time to move on, and I'll miss them. I'll miss everybody. Take care. Thank you so much.
If our retirees can stay into the end of this presentation, we'll take pictures at the front once we honor everybody. Next up, we have Lynn Minnellisso, who was not able to make it this evening, but Mrs. Wonder will speak on her behalf.
Lynn Minnellisso is another staff member who's been at Smith School for many years. She, too, joined Mrs. Joyce in a classroom together this year and both decided to retire and leave us. It's quite tough on us. But Ms. Minnellisso was a para in our building. She's extremely dedicated and a true team player. Ms. Minnellisso always worked in multiple locations, including kindergarten, 4th grade, small group settings, and no matter where she was passionate, dedicated, and always a helping hand to the staff and the students. She was a huge piece of Smith School, and her colleagues spoke about her passion, dedication to the school, focus on family, and overall positive demeanor. We know she's enjoying her time with her family now, and I think she might even be at a game tonight. But we really appreciate all that she did for us, and it's a pleasure to celebrate Ms. Minnellisso as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Wonder. Yes, I believe I heard she was at the Yankees game. Next is Cynthia Morgan, Mr. Meisch, and Mrs. Morgan, if you will please come on down.
So I'm DJ Meisch, the principal at the middle high school. It's my honor to recognize Cindy Morgan. She gears up for her retirement. You know, and I'm just curious, like, can a board not approve a retirement? Is that allowed?
It's
Because if
just
that's
formality.
that's very sad to hear that. So this really caught me off guard. She knows she did. She asked me one day, "Do you have a couple minutes for me?" And I'm thinking, she had to cover a middle school class. You know, that must have been it. You know, and they acted bad. But so when she told me, I'm pretty sure you ended up consoling me for the next several minutes. You know, you always know some staff are going to leave. Wasn't on my radar at all. So her primary reason for leaving, to embrace the role of grandmother. You know, how do you argue with that? Well, although I still did. Cindy's only been here for a few years. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. Started March 2019, I believe, right? She was a mid-year hire, and if you're an administrator, mid-year hires, not fun. And you kind of never know what you're going to get. You know, so my expectations, I didn't have high hopes about, you know, who we were going to hire. When I sat in her demo lesson, I knew right away she was the one, and it very rarely has that happened. She connected with the kids immediately, which at the end of the day is still the most important thing about being a teacher and an educator. We're excited for Cindy we were very excited for her to start, but still, you never know. And you know, and we had high expectations. I can honestly say that once she started, she exceeded our expectations. You were absolute dynamite in the classroom. She teaches upper-level Spanish courses, including AP, which is not easy. If anyone's ever taught AP, that's brutal. I never understood a word when I was in her class observing her. And when you're a world language teacher, that's a good thing. But as a teacher and a colleague, she's very approachable and friendly, but at the same time, you don't mess with her. I'm a little afraid of her myself, and I found out this morning, you don't mess with her parking spot. She rarely misses any days, and she'd always apologize to me when she had to, and at one point I think we had to send you home, I think earlier this year. She showed that she was a person of high character. Some people check out once they're leaving. That wasn't the case with her. She was devastated about telling her students, I remember that. Made sure the kids in AP Spanish were ready for their exam, and took a front seat in hiring a replacement. Overall, Cindy's a model teacher. Kids are always working in her class. She has extremely high expectations for them, and above all else, Cindy truly cares about her kids. It's the reason we hired her, and that's what makes her leaving so bittersweet. I know I'm getting a little emotional here. I'm trying to hold it together. Cindy, I'm personally going to miss you so much. You pushed our students to new levels, and you're a tough act to follow. You're leaving a big hole in the world language department, the middle high school, and all of our hearts. Congratulations on your retirement.
I had prepared a letter for the Board of Education. I guess maybe it'll be read later on today. I don't know. But it was just to thank Mrs. Violetti, the board, Mr. Meisch, Mrs. Coffey, and Mr. Osborne for believing in me. And I will miss Saddlebrook a great deal. As Donna said before, it's bittersweet. It really is. If you love what you do, it's hard to turn the page, but it's time. So I'd like to thank you all very much.
Enjoy your retirement.
Thank you, Cynthia. You did, and I know Mrs. Galvin had it, and she was reaching out to you because when we found out you were attending this evening, we thought you would want to speak yourself, which is why I don't have it on me, so I apologize. Next up is Maria Vasello from Long School and Mrs. Colley.
So Mrs. Jenkins couldn't be here tonight. I apologize. I didn't get to print this, so I'm just going to read it right off of here. She shared with me that Maria is a legacy at LMS. She graduated Long as a student, raised her children through our school, and dedicated her life to serving the children of our school-wide community. She was vital to the fabric of the school culture, a loving and caring para, colleague, and friend. She is well-loved and greatly missed.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for what you do up there, because I know it's not easy. And it was a privilege to work for the Saddlebrook School District, but now it's time to be a grandma.
It's the best role.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to take a 2 to 3 minute break so we could take some photos and wish them the best of luck.
heard somebody say we're going home. Not quite. Actually, I'm hungry. Who wants to go to Rebar?
Do we wait till after the presentation or no?
Yes.
Let's see what time we get out of here.
Okay, at this time, we will ask the representatives from the Saddlebrook Education Foundation to please come on down.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Emily Scamatellas with the SBF. So it was about 6 years ago that I was asked to attend the first foundation meeting to stuff swag bags for their 5K. It's not going to work. Anyway, so I was really excited to be there. I had heard about how much they do for the town, and I expected to see an army of people there. And I walk in, and there's like 5 or 6 people around a dining room table, stuffing bags and just discussing about what new ways they could help our schools. And it was extremely, their dedication was very inspiring. So teachers' grants, scholarships, project graduations, school trips, district-wide donations, and more. I'm still proud to be part of this organization. They have helped raise over $250,000 for our district. And this year we're including Lisa Grados, and I might screw up everybody's names, so sorry. Lisa Grados, Orff Music Instruments, Laura Mazzoni, Flexible Seating, Catherine Boyce, Spire Reading Program, Karen Chappelle, Exploring Weather in the Atmosphere, Mrs. McAvoy and Miss Carol, Brain Bins, Carolyn Sabonzis, with middle school, high school, nonfiction books, Lisa Adamson, whiteboard tables, and of course, last but not least, the all elementary schools and Washington School will receive the outdoor classroom. Thank you.
Thank you to the Educational Foundation. For those that I was going to say didn't do quick math, but I don't think Mrs. Sigmatella said the numbers, shared the numbers. But the total is $12,940 that they are donating with these grants. So thank you very much.
Wow.
At this time, I'm going to present on our proposed referendum. I'm pretty sure I haven't spoken this much in a very long time, but I'll ask the board members to go to the front so that I can share. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here and watching our presentation. Okay, so we are going to share with everybody our proposed referendum for this December of 2022. I will share that I did present a shortened version of this slideshow probably about a month ago, maybe at last month's meeting. It's a little bit of a blur. So I'm going to go through it again, but there are additional slides as well. It's a little bit more detailed this time around. So first off is why. Why are we proposing the creation of a middle school building? You know, it's not necessarily so much that we have an increase in students. It's more that there is an increase in the mandates from the state and programs that we are having in district. So, you know, for one thing, every building has a full-time counselor. Amazing, much needed. But a lot of times they don't even have an office inside the school building, and they're just walking around. There's nowhere for them to do their lunch bunches, their social skills groups. There's a lack of space for them. We have child study team personnel in each of our buildings. And again, they need offices, but they also need a location to host IEP meetings, which are confidential. So when I first started as principal at Franklin School, those IEP meetings were held in the media center. And then students would come down to check out books, and we'd have to like hush everybody to the corner and put them over here. And it was definitely more of a process because it wasn't their assigned location. Every math basic skills and reading basic skills, that's a mandate by the state of New Jersey. In order for our math basic skills instructor to teach their students, they also need a location. Math basic skills is small group instruction outside of the general education classroom. Our reading specialist is small group reading instruction outside of the classroom as well. So these are students that receive 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes 2 days a week of just extra supports. It's not a special education program. It's just extra supports for those students that may need it. And again, these are mandated by the state. Our special education program, so we are building them, and I have another slide on this that I'll share some numbers. But with our special education classes, they max out on the number of students that you're permitted to have. So multiple disabled class, you're permitted to have 6 students with all the staff that's involved with that as well. For LLD, it's a little bit higher. I forget exactly, maybe 11, 12, somewhere around there. But there's a max number of students. So it's not as if you can have a special education class with 24 students in it as you could with this general education class. We also, research in adolescents and their development, it just shows that 6th graders are of the middle school mindset. They are ready for that academic growth of a middle school and the social emotional learning. They're at a very different spot in their development than K-5 students. Our academics, so our standards by the state, they are in grade level bands. So it's 6 to 8. So our teachers in 6th grade, our teachers in 6th grade at this time, they are on their own. They do not have the collaboration of other students. There's no vertical alignment there because they have their own standards. And all our curricular programs are sold by middle school. So our science textbooks, our social studies books, they're all sold in grades 6 to 8. So our 6th graders have a different program, math program, than our K-5 students. Our 6th grade, it might be the same name, Reveal Math, but it's their middle school program. It's not part of their elementary program. We also have related services, so speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy. Again, we need locations for that. These are required services. They're mandated per IEPs, and they need a location to complete these services. And then also, we have the expansion of program supports and facilities that'll benefit all of our students. You can see there that there's approximately 80 school districts. It varies depending on where you look. Some say 78, some say 80 in Bergen County. And there's 9, including Saddlebrook, that have 7 to 12 buildings. So most across the county have already transitioned into a true middle school model. I added this slide last time as an explanation because I did post this slideshow on our website, and I just wanted everyone to understand what the first slide was all about. So this is just a quick explanation of each of those bullet points. So what are we proposing? I'm going to show you a model of it, but we're proposing a middle school building attached to this building. The auxiliary gym in the back would be the middle school gym, so that would stay. And then we would build off of that over the back field, and I'll show you a model of it. We're also proposing an athletic field turf and lights on our main athletic field right now with the track, turfing that and putting lights. New roofing, security offices at the high school, toilet room renovations, upgrades to the front of the high school, make it more presentable, put in awning, make it more welcoming to our community. With our proposal is new furniture because you can't have a new building without furniture. Washington School, we are expanding our preschool classes. So next year, we actually have every classroom on that first floor being used. Preschool is mandated to have bathrooms inside their classrooms and to have an elevator. So Washington School's second floor there's no elevator and there's no toilet rooms in those classrooms. So those are the renovations that are needed for Washington School. Media Center at Smith School, as you know, it's on the lower level, as they like to say. And it's not ideal. So we want to take that media center and we want to move it up to the main level and make it into a true media lab for our students. Security upgrades at Law Memorial School and windows and door upgrades. So part of the security and site assessments that we completed just showed us that some of our doors are a little bit older and need to be upgraded and some of our windows need to be upgraded. We're also part of this, and these are different questions, and I'll show you that later. There's going to be 3 separate questions. So another question is going to talk about window curtain walls at the middle school, high school, and updating them. The curtain walls, as I've learned, I'm learning a lot in this role, they're the windows that are around the courtyard, per se, so those floor-to-ceiling windows. Those will be upgraded. Roof, ceiling, and lights. The roofs at all the buildings are part of this proposal. They are in need of being repaired, as you could tell from some of the leaks that we've been having. Ceiling and lights are pretty much in every building as well to brighten it up a little bit. A lot of our buildings are older, and when you do repair the ceilings and put up new lighting. It just brightens it up and really just makes it more welcoming for our students to learn in their classrooms and then to enter the building as well. Let's see. Franklin School, the corridor floors are a little bit darker. So again, and they're a little bit older, they're cracked, so it's just remodeling that, make it more welcoming. And then an additional turf field that'll be separate. I will show you that. I have a model of it. And then renovations to Coolidge School. So as you know, the township is moving into their new facility. We are acquiring Coolidge School again. It is in need of renovations. We're proposing creating a professional learning lab for our teachers to have some staff development, and then also to host staff development sessions, professional learning sessions, and have other districts send their teachers to us as a source of revenue that we can host these programs. I don't know if you know, like Paramus hosts the summer literacy program. So we would have the space to actually host programs and have staff from other districts come to us for their professional growth. So why turf? I know that was a big question. It does show, research shows that there's a reduction in injuries. It's on the same level. There's not those any little dips that you may have. The usability of it. And again, this will be posted on the website. I'm not going to read it to you. But with turf, you can use it every time it rains. You don't have to wait. Our PE classes will be able to use it. It's not going to get destroyed from being overused. A lot of times if we overuse our fields, our guys have to go back out and fix it up again before it can be reused. And it doesn't require any maintenance or very little maintenance. So those are some of the savings that we would have transitioning into a turf field. And then what will we accomplish? Well, if we're able to do this, we're creating space in our elementary buildings by getting moving our sixth graders to a middle school. And then we're also creating space at our high school because we're taking our 7th and 8th graders and we're putting them into the new middle school. That leaves us space at our high school to build some programs that we're really looking to build. So some like our aviation lab. So we're starting an aviation program next year, and we have our teacher that volunteered to teach it. Amazing. We got the flight simulator. She's going through training this week, actually. But it's going to be in the back of a biology classroom because that's what she teaches. So there's no room, there's no classroom to have an aviation lab at this point. So it'd be really neat in order to have space, instead of putting them in the back of a room, we purchased drones as well. We have 10 drones that we purchased for this program. And again, they're just all stored. We don't have the space. So freeing up the high school would give us space to have programs such as this. It'll also allow us to create a special education program, 18 to 21. I'm going to talk more about special education in a little bit, but we are mandated by law to educate students with IEPs from the age of 3 to 21. And you'll see there's a lot of money that we spend sending our students out of district when we could have those programs in district, save us money, and then also have a source of revenue when other districts send us their kids. Let's say preschool, keep students in district, more schedule options, we'll have more space, more counselors, more staff, student wellness areas, security vestibules in all buildings. So right now at the middle school, high school, we have that vestibule area, but there's no security window. So having the window built in there with a little office on the side, so that way you don't have to ever enter the building. Franklin School does have that. That was built after I left. And Long School has the vestibule but no window, so be creating that there. Washington School has the vestibule but no window, so we'll be putting a window in there. And Smith School does have a window, but we'd be fixing it up a little bit. All the roofs are up for repairs. And these are just some other points as to what we would accomplish. Definitely make Saddlebrook more marketable to people. It's an opportunity for middle school athletics. It would be a true early childhood education center. And the thought with that is we can have some of our high school students. We're starting the Tomorrow's Teachers programs for seniors and juniors, I think juniors as well, that want to go into the field of education. They can actually go into the preschool program, the early childhood center, and do some of their work over there with our own students. We'd be able to have music labs, STEM labs. So our music department's right behind the stage. They're lacking space. So if you ever go into their classrooms, there's musical instruments everywhere. They definitely are in need of more space for all the great programs that they do. So this would enable us to have that. So one of the things I've been looking at are students that don't attend Saddlebrook High School, that are leaving our school district and going to other places. So if you look, we do have 16 students currently, and these are approximate numbers, but they're from the last budget cycle that I looked at. So we have 16 students attending charter schools, 14 students attending Bergen academies. Then we have those Bergen County technical schools. You see Paramus share time, Paramus full time. So share time students are part of the day here, and then half of the day at the tech school. Then we have 19 full-time students. We have 4 Bergen County special services, and then we have 57 students that are special education out of district. And those special education out of district programs range from 50,000 to 122,000 per year. And then I looked at the tech schools to see what programs our students are enrolled in, to see what programs we could potentially bring here, so we're not sending these students out, because there is a fee involved with that as well. So if you look at some of the programs that they're interested in, the culinary food, green building trades, cosmetology, healthcare occupation, some of these programs we would be able to hopefully bring back or bring to. And then this is a little chart of each of the buildings and what each building would get with the proposed referendum. So if you look, we'll start at the left, the high school. You have the upgrades to the front of the building, the turf field with lights, window curtain walls, the security office, toilet room renovation, ceiling is lights and roofs. Middle school, I just put new building. It didn't look like much there, but I didn't know how else to word it. So you get the brand new building, turf field and lights, security office, and all the furniture that goes with the new building. There's everything Washington School is going to have. It's going to be almost entirely renovated on the inside. Smith School will have a media center, a real one, along with all those. As I said, all the roofs are being repaired and the security windows in each of our buildings. Every single building will have miscellaneous doors and windows upgraded. And if you look at Coolidge School, it's the entire interior of the building. So the outside of the building is very sturdy, but the interior needs to be completely renovated. It needs an elevator to be in compliance. There's the picture. Okay, so that's our current building. And you see that yellow rectangle to the right of the current building, that's the gym. So that's the auxiliary gym, and that's what we're keeping. And then we're building out onto the field. And you can see the athletic field with the track. That's going to be the main turf field with the lights. And then we're proposing doing an additional turf field for lacrosse, I believe it was, in soccer. It will be lined for that and practices as well. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a black line going around. That black line is our property line. The front of the middle school would be from the side parking lot. And you see, you could drive in, you see the arrows going that way. So they would drive in, drop off in the front, and then drive out through the side parking lot. And there is that road that will go around, because we do have that access road going around the building, the emergency road, so that will be built in as well. This will be posted on the website, so we'll have access to it. This is a model of the first floor. So you see the auxiliary gym is the square at the bottom. So that's the part that's going to stay. Then we have to the left of that classrooms. So you go down the hallway, there's more classrooms. In the center, there's a cafetorium. So that's a cafeteria with the stage. You see the band room, the music room. Off of the kitchen, there's the kitchen with the round tables, right? Or the other to the left is the kitchen. And then that leads to a courtyard area outside. And then to the left, those larger classrooms are science labs. To the right is going to be the main offices. You see there's some child study team offices, the principal's office, counselor's office, and there's a couple toilet rooms in there as well. The nurse's office is over there. So this would be the picture of the first floor. And then the second floor, because you have the gym, you have the cafetorium, you're not building a second floor above that. Those ceilings have to be high. The media center has to be high. So you're only building classrooms above that one wing. So that larger room is the art room, and then you have all the other classrooms that we need. And we did go through, as a leadership team, we looked through all the classrooms that are needed, and we did build additional classrooms to make sure in the future we're not stuck. And we made sure we had extra space in there, room to grow. And then the estimated tax impact. So if you look, it's going to be 3 questions. That's the referendum amount for question number 1, and then the referendum amount for question number 2, and then question number 3. So if you look at the bottom, Under question number 1, if you go down to second to last, it says $116.63. That's based on, that's the tax impact on an average home assessment of $407,800. So if you take 116, you multiply it by 4, you're going to get the 475.62. So if your house is valued at $700,000, you would multiply that number by 7. And then as you go across the bottom, you can see at the bottom right all the way, the tax impact for all the questions would be $277.69 annually on a house assessed at $407,000. There is an email, so if you have any comments, questions, or questions, send an email. I will be checking it, and we will get back to you. Questions? Not used to talking that much. Yes. Start. Welcome. I think I have an answer, and you guys can jump in at any time, but I think I have this one. Thank you, first of all, for coming out. I do appreciate it. There will be a presentation with our entire team as we do get closer, so we can answer those specific questions. What I can tell you is it is a flood area, and I was going to say Department of Education. It's not the Department of Education. DEP. The DEP does have requirements. They have mandates when you're building in a flood zone or a flood area. They actually recently we've got wind that they are changing these mandates. So what our team did, it was that you had to build 1 foot, you had to provide 1 foot above land, above the flood level, and they are changing it, we're hearing, to 2 feet, which means that we need to, we had to go back and look at our plans to build a ramp at certain areas because we were planning to go 1 foot, and now it looks like we have to go 2 feet above that level. I can also tell you that there are plans to, part of what the department, DEP, what is this? Thank you. I'll just call it DEP. So the DEP, they do have drainage that is required that will go underground. And then what we're going to do is actually build almost a basin in that back corner for the water to go to. All the way out in the back corner. Correct. I think I did okay with that one. Okay. No, I appreciate it, and thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. there's no guarantee about the students coming back. Well, I shouldn't say that. If we have the programs, they would come back as long as it's the right placement for them. Right now, so with the addition of our ABA program at the middle school, high school this year, and then we're going to have an additional classroom next year, we are bringing back several students. So as we're building the programs, we're bringing students back into our district or multiple disabled classroom. We are bringing students back in. It does have to be the right placement for the individual child, so there is no guarantee. All the money that's being saved, my first thought is salaries of our new employees. So because we are going to need some new employees, and we're starting to do that now. So we're starting to take, with the ESSER funds that we received from the federal monies that were provided with COVID, we were able to have these new staff members for last school year. Now we're able to localize some of those staff members into our current budget for next school year. So we're trying to start building the staff, so by the time we get to the actual creation of this building, we'd have the adequate staff for it. Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes. I'm going to say approximately 4 to 5 years. 5 years? 4 years.
No, a school that size is going to take approximately 2 years to construct, and it will be during the school year. Yeah, it cannot be built over just the summer. It will be during the school hours, and there will be proper fencing around and protection to protect anyone in this building. There won't be any access, where someone could accidentally walk into the construction site. But it will, we're talking about 60,000 square feet. We cannot build it just in the summer or on second shift. So it will be constructed throughout the school year. Well, as you see,
most of it is far enough away.
as you see, we have, we're working on the other side of the gymnasium. So you have a wall in the back of the school that pretty much doesn't have any windows. The biggest
and then you have the main gym there, which is pretty loud.
Right. So, and there's a boiler room on this side of the building. So for the most part, the activity is going to be away from the majority of the classrooms. The only one that may be a little bit of an issue is that wing on the, I guess it would be the north side, that, we'll put up some kind of fencing to, with screening in it, but that's really the best we could do. It's just too big of a project to do any other time. It has to be done that way.
Effect on athletics.
Again, you're going to have your practice field. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. You could still, yes. I mean, we'll have a construction fence around the entire area. We'll probably take where that soccer field looks like up there. That'll be a staging area. But we will maintain your existing football and athletic stadium. During construction, we're going to try to have everyone park off of your lot. I mean, that's the goal. Absolutely. Right. The synthetic turf inside the track area and the lights, that would be done over the summer. Yes, that doesn't take 2 years. The building itself, a lot of the projects that were discussed tonight will be done over the summers. Whether it's, the work at the other schools will be done over the summer.
great question. So state will give you 40% state aid for renovations. So for not for new buildings, but for the renovations of the elementary buildings that we're doing, we do get 40%.
No, as of right now, once we get approval, they pay 40% of the towards your debt payment, and we have financial people here too that can get more into detail if you really need to. But no, there is not. Once that's approved by the state, there is not an expiration time on that. Well, hopefully, this referendum passes in December, and then financial advisors who are part of this team will determine when the best time to sell the bonds is in order to get the best rate. But we are all aware that interest rates are going up.
Yes. I did hear that. I don't know. Thank you. I understand the concerns. For us, it's about education, right? So for us, it's about what's doing best for our students and for the educational experience that we're able to provide to them. I know the timing. I understand that. I did learn about that as well. So the timing might not be perfect, but we've been working really hard as a team and diligently as a team to get it all together. There's a lot more detail, with the finances and such that the team has been working through. But like you said, it's fluctuating, and it's just a matter, there's no guarantee as to where we're going to be at, which is why that one slide was estimated tax costs.
Yes, we are working with we heard from Anthony Gianfrancaro, that's Gianfrancaro Architects and Engineers. We have Tony Salamini from our bond counsel and Robbie Alcampora from our financial advisor, Phoenix Advisors, and we've been working with them for months now to go through all this. And yes, some things are going against us. Even for our projects that we're doing now, small stuff, everything, to get a quote, to get materials in, everything's taking longer. So, but we've gone over this. We've tried to look at every single thing we could possibly do to get this district to where it needs to be. Not only the building, but also the projects. You don't get too many shots at doing this. We have bonds that are coming off our books. That's what lowers the impact to the residents, and we're just trying everything. We know the town building's coming on. We talked to the township. So we're just trying things, but some of the things are just going against us right now, but we need to do this to bring all we can for the students here in Saddlebrook. And we will be, you'll hear a lot from us September to December.
We'll
This is
host
just to
many
get-
more sessions.
This is the board to get our plans and documents down to the state, because they take time to review, to get the state aid figures back, and then we'll go out, whenever it comes back in September, and we'll hit everything we did. We did it back in 2014 for the smaller referendum, and we're going to do the same thing again, even more.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Like I said, we came up with our plan, and then after we came up with our number of classrooms and number of small group classrooms, we actually did then expanded, and we added an additional few of each to make sure that we are covered. Breakdown of the three questions. The first question is the middle school building, the athletic field, turf, and lights. This is all the first question. Washington School renovation, because that is needed. Our preschool program is rapidly growing. We actually had to cut off students right now for next school year because we don't have the space. So the Washington School renovations is very much needed in order to have a true preschool program here in Saddlebrook. The security upgrades of our top priority, so that was included. And that's all part of the new building. So that was all question number 1. Question number 2 is what's above that dotted line. And then question number 3 was Coolidge school renovations and the additional turf field, the practice field. I don't think there's enough space. Right. Enough surface area. But what it does is it frees us up to really start renovating our high school and really start building up. Any other questions? All right, well, as I shared, we will be hosting plenty more sessions so you can spread the word. We will email it out to the community. We'll post it on the social media page. I know the mayor's page as well will always post what we're doing. So please make sure to come on out so we can answer all your questions, because this is for all of us and we want to make sure that you're all comfortable with it as well. So thank you for coming out tonight. We're going to continue with our general executive session meeting.
Okay, I'd like to open the meeting for public comment. If anyone would like to talk on agenda and policy.
You gotta make a motion.
Motion?
Motion.
Anybody?
Second.
Okay, I'd like to close the meeting for public comment. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second? Okay, thank you. Okay,
So I said I had a few changes on the agenda. The first one under board, before you take action on the board action items, as you'll see there, something had to give way, and it was the minutes. Sorry, my assistant Kathy worked really hard on getting them done, trying to get them done. She was out ill for a little while, and I think we might be having another special meeting towards the end of June, so we'll put them on that meeting, so there's no, the 2122.44 is being removed. So you have 4.5 through 4.9.
4-4, okay. 2 minutes.
okay, can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do a
Roll call, sorry.
Okay, we'll start with Mr. Shearer. Mr. Shearer?
Yes.
Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Otterelli?
Yes.
He's not here yet. Ms. Ianello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
I'm gonna say yes to all, but I'll abstain from B2122.48. I'm not sure if it's a conflict or not, but I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, we'll move to Ms. Torbic.
Okay. At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. E2122.65 to E2122.73.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Okay, Mr. Karati?
Mr. Shearer?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
Yes to all, but I'll abstain from E2122.65.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Okay, before Mr. Shearer does the next section, a few changes under finance budget facilities, 2122.144, under number ID 2, Helen Smith. We're going to remove room 26, we'll go back to regular full use, and we're going to add room 10, so it'll be 10, 11, and the lower level. And then on the action that got added, 2122.174, the budget transfers, so it's from 077 through 083. So that's all the revisions.
Okay. All right, Mr. Shears, you're up.
All right. At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. F2122.137 all the way through F2122.173. Oh, sorry, 175.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Mr. Karati?
Mr. Shearer?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes, but I'm abstaining on F2122137, check number 61227. And I'm also abstaining from F212216.
wait. I'm sorry, what's that number?
F2122.161, sorry.
161, okay, sorry. Ms. Ainello?
Yes to all, but in F2122.137, I'm going to abstain from check numbers 2748 and 3066.
Mr. Laurentino?
I'm going to say yes to all, but I'll abstain on F2122.137, checks number 2786 and 3104.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Laurentino, you're up.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. POL 2122.9 through R9320.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Mr. Karati?
Mr. Shearer?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. You knock it off, Felch. Any you did that already?
No.
Negotiations, I'm sorry, Ms. Zattarelli.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve N2122.3 and N2122.4.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Karati?
Mr. Shearer?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
I'm going to vote yes on N2122.3, and I'll abstain on N2122.4.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Traverso.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items: P2122.93 through P2122.111.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I discuss something? Okay, discussion. Or should I wait until after the vote? Okay, on number P2122.95, ID number 2. This is a personal thing. I just like it to say it's nice that we are making a wrong a right, and I think it's long overdue, so thank you.
Yes, it is.
Ready? Yeah.
Mr. Shear? Yes. Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes to all except, no, I'm joking. Yes to all.
Yes to all. Ms. Iannello?
Yes to all, but I'm gonna abstain from P2122.96. And then in P2122.100, item number 13. And in P2122.111, I'm going to abstain from ID number 1.
Okay, Mr. Laurentino?
I'm gonna vote yes to all, but in reference to P2122.103, I don't have my specific abstention in front of me, so I'll just abstain from that whole item.
And I think you need 111 too. So 10.103 and .111 abstain. Okay? Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
And Mr. Accomando?
Is this you? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes to all.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's see. Any committee reports? No? Okay. Liaison.
I have liaison. I do too.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Okay, Franklin School. They had their trick or treat on 5/31, and they would like to thank everyone for attending. Thank you to the committees, the moms and grandmas who helped with us prep and set up. 5/4, keep that on your calendars. 5/4/2023 is their trick or treat next year. May the force be with you. Big hint. Field day went well. They were able to buy T-shirts for all the staff and kids and ice pops. They're getting ready for the last week of school and graduations. They have treats for the kids on each day. And they will have their next meeting on 6/21 and hold elections for new offices. I just want to say I went to the trick or treat. It was an awesome time.
It was. I have one too, Michael.
Yes, no.
Okay, I didn't want to just go. I have for Washington School. So we've talked about the fundraising that they're doing for the new playground. So they've kind of taken their playground fundraising committee and combined it with their PTAO because it's all basically all the same people anyway. So I got a report from them, and they said that their current fundraiser is their White Castle coupon book, which is going to end. What's the date? The 17th. Is it over? Nope, okay, thank you. They had those at the walkathon, those coupons they were giving out. They're anticipating about $375 from that. They have so far raised $6,160 for phase 2 of the playground. Phase 1 has already been covered. The fence has been completed, and it looks great. And the items for phase 1 have shipped, which is a great progress for that. They're holding off on their next fundraiser until the next school year, 22-23. And they're creating a satisfaction survey to be sent to parents and staff and administration, comparing the old playground with the approved design to collect data. And that's it. And they're gonna be applying for grants over the summer. And they thank everybody for their support.
Thank you so much. Ms. Iannella?
Unfortunately, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, no problem.
I wasn't able to touch base.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes, Long School had their field day on June 1st for their K through 3, which I had the pleasure of being in attendance at, and the kids had a great time. It was very nice for them to be back outside on the field, running basically free and, doing their little sports there. I was not able to go to the 4 through 6, but I saw from pictures that they had a blast over there. And their Tricky Tray was last night, also attended. It was very, very nicely set up. It was at the Fiesta, and they had an amazing crowd. It was very, very nice, and I thank Long School for doing so.
Okay, thank you. And for Smith, I know that their meeting is tomorrow. I believe it's virtual, and that's all I got on that one. I think, okay, thank you. Any correspondence?
No.
Old business. I have a question on old business. Remember we were discussing the banner for any discussion with music department, or we gonna discuss with us, or are you just gonna take care of with us too?
To get new banners? Oh, no, it's on my list of things.
Oh, you demand.
Things to
Okay.
do.
Okay. Any new business? Sure.
Just like to give my condolences to the family of Jill Altman Russo. Jill was Saddlebrook High School class of 1985, which is my class. Unfortunately, she was tragically struck while jogging the other day in Pequannock. Her mom still lives in town, so I just want to offer my condolences to them.
Thank you so much. Sorry to hear that.
Under new business, I'd just like to say I attended the walkathon on June 10th, and it was a very well put together function. I can't say enough things about it, other than I wish it would have been a little better attended, but it was a phenomenal job done by whoever was behind that.
And that was, my understanding, mostly ran by the students that were part of the Community Partnership Club with their advisor, who is Ms. Lawrence.
Kudos to them.
I would just like to share it's a busy week coming up in our school. So Monday, the 20th, we have our kindergarten. Actually, Friday, we have preschool graduation. Monday, we have kindergarten moving up ceremonies, and then we have 6th grade promotion ceremonies at night. Wednesday, the 22nd, we have middle school graduation. I unfortunately will not be able to attend. I did send an email out to the 8th grade parents. It's my son's high school graduation, so I will not be able to attend the middle school graduation. But the 3 elementary principals, Mrs. Winder, Mrs. Cohen, and Mrs. Jenkins, all agreed to go in my place and share a few words, as these students did not have a full 6th grade moving up ceremony with them in their building. So the 3 of them are going to attend, so thank you. And Thursday the 23rd is our high school graduation. So lots of busy, great things happening right now. The academic awards, a scholarship banquet, just fun, and there's so many great things that are not talked about or spoken about going on in Saddlebrook that should be spoken about more. So, and it's due to the team here, the staff within our school system, our leadership team, the Board of Education. So it's really just amazing. So thank you to everybody.
Yes. And I'd like to say that too with the, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right.
No, I'm not gonna go, you go.
Okay.
Please.
I just also wanted to thank all of the donations that, have come in, the SBEF, the Dellin family, all of the families who donated to scholarships for our seniors, and just so many things that have been donated to over the last month, and it's just really so nice for our students, and it's just, I really appreciate it. That's all.
Thank you so much.
If I may?
You sure can.
Am I on? All right. I just wanted to say a special thanks to all the teachers in the district. I know coming back from the pandemic, it's been a really hard year. And all your work and all the dedication, I thank you truly. Our kids are the benefit of all of your hard work. And enjoy your summer. You definitely deserve it. And hopefully you rest up and see you in September. And along with administration, thank you for all your hard work as well.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I wanted to do that too, so thanks for ruining that for me.
Thanks.
But first I want to say I was lucky enough to attend the Smith School Wax Museum. and it was so cute. Unfortunately, it was very hot, but it was really cute. That too, the teachers, thank you so much for all your hard work all throughout the year. The administration, just constantly giving it your all. The secretarial staff, the custodial staff, maintenance staff, thank you so much for all that you do. Also, I had on the day of the Memorial Day Parade, I had the opportunity to go to, unfortunately, forgotten veterans' grave sites. And I was blessed to be able to put flags down on over 900 grave sites, so that was very humbling. And I'd like to thank Joe Barra for that from the Rochelle Park VFW. And enjoy your summer. Thank you so much.
I just have 2 items. I know there's a lot going on tonight, but I just want to highlight under, negotiations, we have a settled agreement with the SBA that covers all the teachers and administrative assistants, and it's a 5-year contract. So I've been here 15 years, we've never settled before a contract expired. So this is great news. I think the board's very happy, and I assume all the teachers are happy, and gets us keep moving us in the right direction. And number 2, I'm very excited about approving the referendum project to submit to the state. I mean, obviously, the voters have to vote on December, but we have a lot of work to do, and please send their questions in, no matter what they are, so we could address all of them and make sure we don't miss anything.
And this is our last meeting for the school year, right? We're not doing any more?
No, I think we're going to have 27th.
Okay, I'll save it for that. Okay, anyone else? Okay, open the meeting for public comment. Anybody wish to speak? Okay, let me just read this real quick in your... Okay, residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of this meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5-minute durations. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered, and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comment made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and be aware that are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Thank you.
Is that the broken one?
Hi, I'm Elisa Camontellis, 86 Bell Avenue. I wish, is that play? You could. Oh, it went on. Oh, it's not. It goes in and out. See? Okay, I'm Elisa Camontellis, 86 Bell Avenue. I do have a formal letter that I was going to send you guys, and I'm sorry I was a little unprepared tonight, but I just wanted to take a second and say that I've been up here complaining plenty of times. Probably some fights that were not mine, but still came up here anyway. And I think I would be a hypocrite if I didn't come up here to just say something good. And I know this year there's no Teacher of the Year. So I just try not to get emotional here. But I just want to take a second and honor. Sorry. I want to request that you consider honoring a teacher this year that is so incredibly invested in her students. She inspires, she gives hope, she has ignited imagination, she's instilled a love of learning, And I am extremely grateful, as are so many other sixth grade parents of this class coming back from such a difficult year. Their hormones. And I just wanted, I don't know if I can say her name, but I just wanted to thank Ms. Laurentino. And I hope that you do consider honoring her with Teacher of the Year for this year. Officially or not officially. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sicamatellis. Mrs. Sicamatellis did reach out. So Bergen County Teacher of the Year program is an annual program. The county this year decided not to host their luncheon, I believe that they have every year, and they just sort of just sent an email out saying for each district to do their own thing. So, you know, we decided as a district that all of our staff members really deserve the honor, especially this year. This is not an easy year for anybody that works in the school system. So instead of singling out individual staff members, paraprofessionals, and teachers, we just decided that, you know, we were just going to let it be this year. Until it's back in person next year, we will formally honor staff. But everybody really does deserve it this year. It was a crazy year this year, coming back full time.
Thank you.
Catherine Hybertson, 340 Mayhill Street. I realize that's a little unconventional. I'm the director of the Saddlebrook Library, so good evening. I'm here on behalf of the library's Strategic Planning Committee. So the library is entering, much like the district, into a strategic planning process. And throughout the summer, we're asking members of the public for their feedback so that we can create a plan that accurately reflects the needs of the Saddlebrook community. They are doing this with a survey, which is available online both on the library's website and the library's Facebook page. We are also offering paper copies both in the library building and at the Saddlebrook Senior Center. And information about the survey has also been shared through the district's virtual community backpack. And as part of the mission of the library is to support the educational goals of the community, the Strategic Planning Committee is especially interested in feedback from people who are involved in the Saddlebrook School District, both all of you as Board of Education members and also staff and teachers in the district, as well as parents of students who are enrolled in the district. I'm here to represent the library and the committee and ask you to consider not only sharing your feedback with us through the survey, but also by other means if you would rather, and also to ask you to share information about the survey with the district and encourage people to fill it out so that we can collect feedback from as many people as possible. If any of you ever have any questions about the survey itself, or you just want to know about the library and what we have going on across the street, you can also reach out to me at any time. All my contact information is on the library's website. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. I just want to share, too, the Saddlebrook Library hosted many of our classes this year on their field trips. Thank you very much. They enjoyed themselves. And I wanted to also just take a moment to thank Mrs. Zottarelli. She's going to represent me at the monthly meetings at the library. So thank you, Catherine.
Nice. Anyone else? Okay, make a motion to close the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in
Aye.
favor? Any opposed? Before we go, I'd just like to congratulate two of the retirees once again. I wish them the very best on their future endeavors. And at that time, I would like to make a motion to close the meeting. Well, no, we did close public comment.
Oh, public comment.
Motion.
Second.
Any, all in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Even though we're officially closed, I want to say congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Very
closed.
well deserved.
Congratulations.
Okay, let me get this. Sure. I just got to steal your pen if I may.